today I've got something fun for you. It has art, creativity, learning, as much as you want to add it in, and it does not involve glitter in any way, and it's fun. I mean, you can add glitter if you want to. It is perfect for summer, it works during the school year, and it is the best first activity for brand new homeschoolers. Let me tell you about it. Hi, I'm Brenda from the Homeschool Files, and I'm really glad you joined me today. So this amazing activity is one of my favorite things to do with my kids of all ages. I have done it for fun. I've used it for shoring up missing skills during the summer. We've used it for subjects in school. We've used it for morning time, like morning basket time. And it makes the perfect first activity for new homeschoolers. So if you are going to be beginning homeschool in the fall, this is a great thing for you to do this summer. This amazing activity is called Art Journals, and we have used them for years on our homeschool. Now, you do not need to be an artist or an art teacher or even good at art to use these art journals, I promise. So don't click away. Hear me out. They are so easy and they're so good. All right, so let me show you what you're going to need, and then I'll tell you how we use these in our homeschool, because it's more than just art. So first, you'll need a mixed media notebook per person. There are several brands. Strathmore, that's the kind that are all yellow. You've probably seen them. This is Master's Touch. I kind of feel like this is a Hobby Lobby brand. They're not that much money. It doesn't matter. They come in different sizes. Here's the smaller one that we've used for other things, and these are the bigger kind. But we do always get the spiral bound ones, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then you need art supplies. Now, I don't mean anything fancy. Use the stuff you already have. You will probably want some watercolor paints. This kind is just fine to start with. It really is. You're going to want glue sticks, markers, crayons, color pencils. We have tubs of that stuff. Every year at the end of homeschool, I just dump all the remaining crayons into the color tub, dump the remaining color pencils. So we have all these old ones. Yeah, we need to probably go through the markers and throw away the dried out ones, but we keep those for the kids. We have for years, so just use whatever you have. I mean, if you need to invest in something later, you can. You're going to want some pencils, old magazines. So if you have an older person in your life that has a lot of magazines laying around, let them know, hey, I can take those off your hands. If you can't get your hands on old magazines, you could always just get scrapbook paper or craft paper. You need some school glue, whatever. And if you really get into this and decide that you really like it, you can totally upgrade your art supplies. This is a kind of watercolor that we upgraded to. They come in a blue metal tin, and we love these. They're not upper end. They're not expensive. They're just a little bit of a step up from this. So I think these also came from Hobby Lobby. I couldn't find a brand on them. But anyway, whatever you have to start with is going to be fine. Basic stuff is just fine. And then access to Pinterest would be really good as well. Now, I have some art journal supplies in my Amazon storefront, and I'll put the link in the description. I do need to let you know that I earn a small commission if you happen to buy something by clicking on one of my links. There, I handled all that. I have to tell you that. You may already have what you need to get started. You may be able to find some of this cheaper elsewhere, but I put all the stuff I could think of on the Amazon list so that it will jog your memory, and maybe it'll help you out if you need to order any of it. Just something to help. Okay, so the summer before we started homeschooling, I purchased art books from a curriculum company. They were more craft books. It was the kind where you, number one, color this, cut this, glue this together. It had step-by-step instructions, and it made a craft, not really art. It wasn't open-ended. But the girls were little, and they absolutely loved doing those little books. And several times a week, we would sit down at the kitchen table and we would do a craft together. It was an amazing way to prep them for homeschool. And that was kind of unintentional on my part, but let me tell you why. We all sat down together and I was giving directions. See, I had never been their teacher before. And so this was new territory for us. So we all sat down and I said, now today we're going to make a craft about this. We're going to make this bear or whatever it was. And I had to give them directions, and we got the supplies out and we sat at the table together. What were they learning? Well, they had to learn to wait for me while I was talking to their sister. Just a minute, I'll help you in a second. Yes, you need to cut that out. Very good. What do you need? So we were taking turns with mom's attention. We were sharing supplies. So it was just this 30 or 45 minutes of sitting down at the table and doing this easy task that wasn't as hard as schoolwork together. And then when we started doing math and reading and things like that in the school year, it felt familiar to be sitting down at the table like that. It was just such a great way to ease into homeschooling. Does that make sense? Can you see why that would help? That's why I say I think it is the perfect new activity for homeschoolers if you're just going to be starting out. Your kids are not used to seeing you in the teacher role. And so sitting down and doing art together where you have to give them a couple of directions at the beginning and they have to listen to you is just a really great way to start. Now, I'm going to show you an example of an art journal project, okay? I did this with my older girls when they were like 8 and 12, and their old art journals must be in the attic because I couldn't find them. So my youngest daughter, who just turned 14, recreated this one for me yesterday, and she did a great job. And I want to show it to you. So what you do is you have them trace a lid or something round all over the journal. Then we got an old magazine and she cut out these 3 from magazines. You can't tell, but this is magazine paper. This was like a man's shirt and this was part of an ad and it already had those black stripes on it. And I don't remember what this was, but anything that the lid fit on that had lots of colors and fun designs, she cut out and she glued them onto her circles. Then for the remaining 3 circles, she got out her markers and she kind of just used the same colors as was in the magazine colors and did some little design on the others, whatever she wanted to do. So that's what it looked like with a teenager doing it. And here are my older girls with this activity. They were younger when they did it. And so you get different results, but everybody could do the same project. And that's part of the lesson is we're all doing the same project, but everyone's is going to come out different and that's okay. Now, I usually sit down and do the journal pages with them. Why? Number 1, it's fun. I deserve to have some fun too in the day. Number 2, I can model so many good things for them through this. Like what? Well, while I'm working on my art, let's say I mess up. That's very likely to happen. And then I can say out loud, oh, shoot, man, that did not come out like I wanted it to. Oh, gosh. I wonder how I can fix this. And they may lean over at that time and be like, oh, Mom, you could turn that into a cloud, or here you could glue this on top. Yeah. Okay, I think I know how I'll do it. All right. And then at the end, I can say, oh, okay, that didn't really come out like I planned, but I kind of like it. It looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. So what did I just model for them? I just taught them how to overcome a problem, how to handle frustration, how to fix something instead of freaking out about it. I'm modeling a lot. I'm not lecturing to them. Here's what you do when you face a problem. I'm just showing them how to handle that. Now, they see that in everyday life with you. They see you when you burn something in the kitchen or when the washer breaks or whatever. They watch you all day how you handle problems. But this is you handling a problem at the school table on kind of a school activity. They don't usually see that. So that's interesting to them, and they're going to notice you doing that. What else can I model? I can say, hey, when you're done with those scissors, can I borrow them, please? Thank you. And you're going to start to hear your kids talk to each other that way. Can I borrow the glue after you? That's very polite of them. You're giving that example for them. So it's very powerful for you to sit down and do this with them. And then at the end, you can be like, okay, whoo, we made a big mess. That was fun, but now we need to clean up. I guess I'll sweep. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And it's, hey, we're all in this together. Because during the school year, it's like, hey, you need to go put your stuff up. You need to go do this. But here, we're all doing it together. So we're all going to clean up. And you can model that with them as well, doing it with a good attitude. And the number 3 reason to do this is because it's a relaxed way to spend time with your kids. It builds relationships. We listen to music, we talk, we laugh. We have a lot of fun doing this together. And it's not the same thing as slogging through a reading lesson, okay? This is fun. And yes, I did this with my teens too. Honestly, it's very enjoyable at any age. Now, other uses. Well, obviously, art. You don't really need an art curriculum unless your state law mandates that you use a written art curriculum, in which case you do. But let me show you some other ideas because there are thousands of ideas. Most of my ideas came from Pinterest. You just search art journal or art journal pages. And you can also put in art journal pages for kids if you want to kind of get the easier ones because they definitely have some for more advanced people than me. All right, so here is an easy ice cream journal page that we found on Pinterest, and I shared it with my friend. This shows how different it can look from kid to kid. These are my friend's sons when they were little. And she started doing art journals with them. I believe she bribed them with real ice cream for this particular activity. And she actually ended up teaching art class at her co-op for several years using nothing but art journal pages. Yes, she made an entire class out of art journals. It was so cool. So she liked the activity. You know, she has a big garden, and I seem to remember her doing a watermelon craft with her boys and them eating watermelon. So she might be onto something of how to encourage your reluctant artists. I think pairing it with food is a great idea. Okay, here I gave them painter's tape, and they taped off the first letter of their name, painted the whole page, and then peeled off the tape. And they came out very cute. Very easy art journal page. And incidentally, the pages in these books are perforated. So if you want to tear them out, they're perforated underneath the spiral. If you want to tear them out and frame them or display them, you absolutely can. But I leave them in the journal. And the reason is because they love flipping back through their artwork and looking at all the pages that they've done. And also, you don't have loose art all over the house. It's all contained. It makes art so much easier. Here, I printed out a pair of sunglasses that I found online, and they cut out the sunglasses and glued them down, and then they made a self-portrait around them. And I really was encouraging them to use the whole page, and that's why the heads are so big. And they say, "I love summer." That was the words that we wrote on them. You might notice that my younger daughter used a lowercase I here, and her S is backwards. I had just finished lecturing about how you can't mess up art, and there's no rules, and just, there's no wrong or right way to do it. And so when I saw her make those mistakes, I just let them go, because I knew I could correct that stuff during writing or handwriting or spelling. Art's not the time to worry about that stuff. So I did not correct those mistakes. All right, so Pinterest has 1,001 ideas for art journal pages, and you can look into junk journaling or sort of float into that territory if you like. There's no rules. Some people put a lot of 3D stuff in their journal, and they get so fat that they end up having to wrap a rubber band around them because they get really puffy and big, and that's totally fine. All right, so I told you how new homeschoolers can use the art journals, and I've shown you some examples of how to use them for art. So what about using them for school or for shoring up those missing skills during the summer, like I mentioned in the beginning? One year we had taken the Iowa test, and I had the results of that already. And from those results, and from the fact that we had had a newborn in the house all year, I knew that my girls needed work on grammar, like capitalization, punctuation, all the rules, right? And I knew that that was something that we just hadn't gotten to much that school year. So I had decided that year to have language arts boot camp. Duck Dynasty was a kind of new show back then and was kind of popular, and my oldest daughter really enjoyed it. And I had found some camo duct tape in the Target dollar spot, and I found some camo pencils, and I was like, that's it, we're having language arts boot camp. And I teased them about it for weeks, and they were like, what is language arts boot camp? And when they found out it was just art journals, they were very, very happy. So what it entailed was me just sitting down and giving a mini lesson, and then we made an art journal page to go along with it. So here is my middle daughter. She was probably around 8, and she is gluing a cut-up calendar page all over her journal page. We had cut up an old calendar, and then we added words like capitalized days of the week and months of the year to the page. Very easy. So for each capitalization rule, we made a different page. I kind of had an idea of the basic page ahead of time and had the supplies we needed, but they added ideas to it as we worked, and that's totally fine. Can you see why this is so much more powerful than handing them a printout that says, here are the rules of capitalization. Let's go over them. They're making this page. They have a part in it. They are internalizing this information. And because it's in the art journal, anytime you need them to, let's flip through and remember our, grammar rules that we learned this summer. We can go over those very easily. So it's a great review because it's all right there in the book. I can see using this for contractions, parts of speech, whatever you need to go over with them and have them remember. This is a great way. All right, so we have used art journals for Bible time as well. We got the smaller spiral journal and we turned them this way. And while we read the story, they just drew the pictures. They just drew in them. We had crayons, markers, color pencils, whatever they needed, and they drew the story. Now, one of the things that people will tell you if you look up articles about it is that art journals are supposed to have writing on the pages. I didn't feel like this one really needed anything on it. but the capitalization page obviously did. And for the Bible thing, I think it was important. So I had them write the verses like Acts 2, 1 through 12, whatever. And then I just had them write a little sentence about what the story was about. You know, Paul goes to prison. That's not Acts 2. But anyway, I'm just saying I just had them write a quick little phrase about what that story was about, because when they look back at it, they're going to be like, what was that one again? So writing on it can be a good thing to do. It kind of cements that in their mind. All right, the other way we used art journal pages was for our morning time, for our morning basket time. Now, this was back when I had a high schooler and an upper elementary kid, and we did this every morning. I shared this in a very old video, but I'm going to share it again. That year for morning time, one of the things we did was we did the National Day of Days. So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We wrote the dates right here, and then each day we added one little square. It didn't take too long to do a tiny little square like that. And so this was National Taco Day. This is my art journal. And we used black glue. Have you ever used the black glue before? And so you trace everything with the black glue, and it gives it a 3D effect, and then you flood it with the watercolors. One of the other ones we did is we used cut paper one week, and so you can maybe see that we've cut up magazine pages and used it all over here. And so we did something every week at the beginning of the year. As the year went on, you can tell we just fell into using crayons and Sharpies. This week, the rule was you had to use your fingerprints. And so just every day we did this. And it was so fun to get that little bit of art in. And that little bitty square, it didn't take long. And there's not that stress of needing to fill the whole page. And that's why sometimes the littler journals are better, because you can get it done a little bit faster and they don't feel so stressed about having to draw quite so big. Can you see art journals being used for science? I really can. Are you studying astronomy? You can make a night sky picture. You can do stuff about the planets with cut paper. Oh my gosh, you could do so many projects. What if you're studying botany or biology? Incorporate leaves and things into your art journal pages. Whatever you're studying, it can become a part of that. There really aren't rules. I mean, you're going to see people say there are rules, but it's your house. You do what you want to do. You can do them daily, like we did, just the little bits. You can do them weekly, like say, hey, Friday's art day or whatever, art journal day. Or you can just do them every now and then as it fits with your lessons or as inspiration strikes, or if the kids just are asking to do it, you can throw it in whenever. I encourage you to try different media. Try not to fall into just using crayons all the time. Try to use old newspapers, paint, markers, scrapbook items, whatever. It's really powerful. It's completely open-ended, and it can be added to any part of your homeschool. Now, I want to say something for you working moms, because I know there are a lot of moms who work part or full-time and are trying to homeschool their kids, and I know that is very hard. And you're like, I don't see myself being able to sit down and do this. Okay, so Moriah Elizabeth, the YouTuber, she has Create This Book 1 and 2. She may have more out now. These are very well used. These were my younger daughters, and they have prompts in them, and they're ready to roll. And so you just follow the prompt on the page. And I'm just thinking that for busy days, this says create a colorful page here. You can do literally anything you want. So for days when you are too busy, look, I've got phone calls, I have to work or whatever, you wanting to do art, why don't you do a page in your Create This Book? I have these also in my Amazon storefront for you. The links are there. I hope this inspires you. Summer is a great time to practice using this. And I really want to say, don't worry about being a good or bad artist. Please sit down with your kids and show them that anything you do can be fun. I didn't even finish that one. And you just sit down and talk and have a great time with your kids creating something wonderful. And you can add learning into it. It really can be a great tool for your homeschool. I hope this has been helpful. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Check out the links in the description. I hope you're having a great week.